Mark, Olivia.
I'm here.
Morning. Yeah, sorry about the business with the links. I kind of thought they'd sent them to you, but I guess we'll be getting started shortly. I did have an email from the judge a few minutes beforehand saying we might be a little bit late, so just bear with us.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Looks like everyone's here except for Mr. Sheehan.
I'm not seeing Mr. Riley at the moment. He was here earlier, so I imagine he'll be back on at 10:30.
Okay.
When the screen said it was going to be starting.
Okay. Thanks.
Your Honor, I also just received a entry of appearance of Michael Sammartino on behalf of OPC just a couple of minutes ago.
In this case.
In this case.
Okay. Perhaps he'll be joining us then in a few minutes.
Yes, perhaps.
Doug, are you ready?
Let me turn this equipment on.
Okay.
I'm ready when you are, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, we can go on the record.
On the record, Your Honor.
Good morning. We're on the record in case number 9513P. It's captioned in the matter of the continuing investigation of the purchased gas adjustment charges of the Chesapeake Utilities Corporation, Maryland Division. We'll start with appearances by the company, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Brian Quinn with the Venable Law Firm on behalf of Chesapeake Utilities.
Good morning. And OPC?
Good morning, Your Honor. Joseph Cleaver on behalf of the Office of People's Counsel, entering my appearance for purposes of this hearing only. This morning, The newest addition to the Office of People's Counsel's legal team, Michael Sammartino, entered an appearance in the case. He'll be handling the hearing today. Mr. Sammartino officially became a licensed lawyer and member of the Maryland Bar yesterday.
Wow,
So-
congratulations.
He's going to hit the ground running today in this hearing. Whenever you all get a chance, be sure to give Mike a warm welcome to practice before the Public Service Commission. So thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. We'll try to go easy on him today. Welcome, Mr. Sammartino.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
And staff?
Good morning. Good morning, Your Honor. Lloyd Spivak for the commission staff, and welcome, Mr. Sammartino. With me today, I have Olivia Kuykendall and Mark Riley of the Commission's Accounting Investigation Divisions, and they will be presenting their testimony.
Okay. Good morning. Mr. Quinn, did you have an exhibit?
Yes, Your Honor. On preliminarily on December 13th, Chesapeake filed the certificates of publication for related to today's hearing. Again, those were filed on December 13th already in the docket, and I respectfully request that those be marked as Chesapeake Exhibit Number 1 and moved into the record.
Okay, they'll be marked as Chesapeake Exhibit 1. Any objection to those coming into the record? Hearing and seeing none, Chesapeake Exhibit 1 is entered into the record.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Did you have a witness then?
Moving on, yes, Your Honor, thank you. I have 2 witnesses today. We're lucky enough to have 2 of them. Marie Kozel and Mr. William Chris are here to testify on behalf of Chesapeake. And with your permission, I'd like to call Chesapeake's first witness, Your Honor, if that's okay.
Yes, please proceed.
Thank you. Chesapeake calls Marie Kozel to the stand, please.
And do you have an attestation?
Yeah, Your Honor, I was going to say, for both witnesses at this point, I'm happy to make the attestation for both Chesapeake's witnesses that they are alone in a separate room and not in communication with any other individual during their testimony in this proceeding.
Thank you.
With
Ms. Kozel,
please.
sorry.
No, thank you, Your Honor, please.
Ms. Kozel, can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, please proceed.
Good morning, Ms. Kozel.
Good morning, Brian.
Do you have in front of you a document with a cover page that is entitled Direct Testimony of Marie Kozel, and it's dated November 23rd, 2021?
I do.
And does that document, including a cover page, consist of 9 pages of question and answer testimony, along with 2 exhibits that contain 5 pages of schedules?
It does.
And was this document prepared by you or under your direct supervision?
Yes, it was.
And do you have any changes or corrections to make to this document in front of you?
No, I do not.
And if the questions in your direct testimony were asked of you today, would your answers remain the same?
Yes, they would.
And do you adopt this direct testimony as your sworn testimony in this proceeding?
I do.
With that, Your Honor, Chesapeake respectfully requests that the testimony of Marie Kozel be marked as Chesapeake Exhibit 2.
So marked.
And we request that it be moved into the record.
Okay, I want to hold off on that for just a minute. Does any party have an objection? Okay.
No objection, Your Honor.
Thank you. Hearing and seeing no objections. We'll just wait a second on entering it because I have a question related to the testimony.
Of course.
Does any party have any questions for Ms. Kozel? Okay. Ms. Kozel, if you could turn to page 7 of your testimony. I'm sorry, not page 7. Page 8. You, starting at line 17, you testified that the ACA is decreasing from a credit of 0.3436 per MCF.
I do.
Last year's order authorized an ACA credit of 0.3287. And I looked at your exhibit and I thought that that's what you actually used. If you could take a look at that, please.
If you'll give me just a moment to review my
Yes.
schedule.
Yes, take your time.
I believe that is a typo in my testimony.
So should that line read decrease from a credit of 0.3287 per MCF to a credit of 0.4220?
Correct.
Okay. And then continuing on with that testimony, I think then that your testimony regarding the difference is
Would also
probably not
change.
right.
Would also change, correct?
Okay. But you might, I don't know if you want to do that math. And then because the 37 cents per month is going to be based on the usage. So I don't know if you want to take a minute and do those calculations so we can correct your
Yes.
testimony.
Give me
Okay.
just a moment.
Yeah, just let us know when you're ready.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your patience.
No problem.
That the testimony should be amended to read, the ACA is decreasing from a credit of 0.3287 per MCF effective January 1st, 2021 to a credit of 0.4220 per MCF effective January 1st, 2022. This decrease of 0.0933 per MCF equates to a decrease of approximately 0.42 per month for a typical residential heating customer with annual usage of 561 CCF.
Okay. And with that correction, do you believe your testimony is true and correct?
I do.
Okay. I didn't recall hearing any objection to the entry of her testimony into the record. Is that correct?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll go ahead and enter it into the record as Chesapeake Exhibit 2. I do have another question, though, on page 7, starting on line 19. You discuss that the under refund is a result of Chesapeake receiving greater AMA credits in the fourth quarter 2020 than were projected in the GSR.
That is
And from
correct.
decreased sales volumes from what had been projected. But with regard to the greater AMA credits, what can you tell me about the AMA credits? Did you review Mr. Riley's testimony?
I did.
Okay, at the bottom of page 5, he talks about the overcollection of firm gas costs was primarily caused by a transfer of storage capacity to Sandpiper Energy Inc. Is that what is your testimony related to that?
Yes, it is. The projected firm fixed costs were projected to be higher than they actual were because of that transfer to Sandpiper Energy.
Okay, and
In
what can you-
addition, the projection of our AMA credits was lower than what our actual AMA credits were, and therefore we're returning that to the customers.
Okay,
Sharing
the
that.
portion of the AMA credits, though, that's related to the transfer of storage capacity to Sandpiper Energy. Can you explain that? Do you know,
Honestly,
do you know what's going on? Or is there a better witness? I'm sorry.
there is a better witness to answer anything related to the asset management agreement, and that would be Will Chris.
Okay. And just to clarify, I'm sorry for going back to page 8 of your testimony. I think I do understand, but I just want to clarify. When you talk about the decrease from a credit of, the credit is actually increasing, which is then causing the customer's rate to decrease, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And did Mr. Quinn, did you have any redirect based on my questions?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you want to call your next witness then?
Yes. Your Honor, Chesapeake calls to the stand Mr. William Chris.
Mr. Chris, can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Chris. Do you
Morning.
have in front of you a document with a cover page entitled Direct Testimony of William R. Chris?
I do.
Is that dated November 23rd, 2021?
It is.
Including the cover page on that document, does the document consist of 8 pages of question and answer testimony?
It does.
Was this document prepared by you or under your direct supervision?
Yes, it was prepared by me.
If I asked you the questions in this document today, would your answers be the same?
Yes, they would.
And do you adopt this testimony as your sworn testimony in this proceeding now?
I do.
Your Honor, with that, I'd like to mark the direct testimony of William Chris as Chesapeake Exhibit 3.
So marked.
With your permission, Your Honor, request that it be moved into the record and the witness is available for cross.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, Chesapeake Exhibit 3 is moved into the record.
One
Does anyone-
second, Your Honor. I didn't hear the objection from OPC. Did they say anything?
They didn't, and when someone doesn't say anything, I assume they don't object unless they speak up. So I think we're good. Thank you.
Understood. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Chris?
Very briefly, Your Honor. This is Michael Sammartino for OPC. Mr. Chris, are you the respondent on the data requests submitted by staff to Chesapeake?
I was the respondent for several, yes.
So if you could please refer to staff data request 2-8B. This question asked about Chesapeake's RFP process and notes that the company sent out an RFP to 3 suppliers and received 1 response from its affiliate, Sharp Energy. Is that correct?
Yes, you're referring to the RFP for propane refill service on the peak shaving plants. Yes.
Yes, that's correct. And so could you clarify how you evaluate a proposal to assess its value to customers when there is only 1 bid?
It is difficult because there is not the market comparison. You know, the volumes of gas that were requested are large and require a lot of assets within the region, assets such as rail facilities and trucking capabilities. And so the RFP went to the respondents that research showed could provide that type of a service. And unfortunately, there was only 1 respondent for this year.
Thank you. So assuming that the hypothetical that Chesapeake received no responses to its RFPs or was not satisfied with the response that it did receive, what further steps would the company take to pursue a supplier contract?
That's an excellent question. It hasn't happened. So, you know, prudency of evaluation is certainly, you know, a concern for Chesapeake. I'm not quite sure how we would move forward. You can expand ranges, but again, as you expand your range outside of our service territory, presumably when you need propane during the winter season for the purpose of filling peak shaving facilities, you need it on the coldest days and possibly after the worst winter weather. And so logistics of railing or trucking propane become a concern. So if we go further out, you know, you're increasing the level of risk that when you need propane, it may not be delivered. So to answer your question, if no one responded, Chesapeake could expand its range, but there are many inherent risks to that.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chris. No further questions, Your Honor.
Your Honor, based on that question, I would like to ask just a question or two, if I might, please.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Mr. Chris.
Good morning.
You were just talking about the RFP the company issued with respect to the propane supply for peak shaving. I actually wanted to ask about this because Ms. Kuykendall mentioned this in her testimony, and I was a little confused by what is Chesapeake doing with propane? I mean, you're a natural gas utility, so what do you use this for? Why do you need it?
Certainly, that's an excellent question because it's not something that comes up often. Propane facilities are a propane facility is a framework of equipment that can take liquid propane, mix it with air, to the appropriate Wabi factor so that you can have the same physical characteristics of propane and air to match the level of, to match those same physical characteristics of natural gas. And that the propane facilities are sited directly on the distribution system. And so by having this propane air injected directly into the distribution system, you are essentially circumventing all interstate capacity. And so that manufactured gas or synthetic natural gas, there are many nomenclature to discuss it, that propane air is a last resort because it does carry, a price risk of the cost of propane versus, the cost of buying market natural gas. So they are there as a fail-safe. If there was a force majeure, or if we got to, the 30-year cold that we tried to plan for, it's there in the event of emergency or, extremely cold winter weather events.
Okay, so would it be fair to say that the propane facility essentially is analogous to something like the town of Berlin's peak peaker unit for electricity production when in peak situations, kind of a gas and analog to that?
From my familiarity with that Berlin setup, you are correct. It's there for an emergency.
Okay. All right. That's all I really had. I just wanted to clarify what was going on there. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I would also add, it's not run very often. We can go an entire winter without running it. So it's not like we consume propane every winter and then are required to refill every winter. In fact, I don't believe we ran very much at all except for testing last year.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chris, the supplier of your propane is Sharp Energy, though, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And it's an affiliate of
Yes.
Chesapeake. So, how do you verify that the price that you're paying your affiliate is reasonable?
The price is an index-based price. And then in addition to that index-based price that trades on a transparent market, we pay a basis adder. And that adder covers the transportation essentially to get the commodity to our service territory.
And did you hear that Ms. Kozel said that you'd be the person to talk to about the GSR and the AMA and the transfer of storage capacity to Sandpiper Energy?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. What can you tell me?
Okay. So I guess it was several years ago, the Interstate Pipeline Company, Columbia, they have firm natural gas service that they offer to customers. Maryland's future demand projections and asset portfolio, we were looking for some storage. Well, the director at that time was looking for some storage assets for Maryland. And those storage assets were acquired. And as time progresses, Sandpiper was purchased, and Sandpiper had, in their future projections and their demand profile, storage was needed within their portfolio. And so it made sense that Maryland could transfer through the FERC approved bidding processes this storage asset from Maryland to Sandpiper.
Did you review Mr. Riley's testimony in this case and 9514?
No, Your Honor, I did not.
Okay.
Only Ms. Kuykendall's.
Are you familiar with the asset management agreement as it
Yes,
relates
Your
to
Honor.
Sandpiper?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Even though you haven't read it, I'll tell you that Mr. Riley testified that the AMA allows Sandpiper to release its capacity which includes transportation and storage rights and entitlements, to its asset manager. The asset manager then utilizes that capacity to ensure service to the company, but also optimizes the use of that capacity in the market. So I'm trying to understand why Chesapeake transferred its storage capacity to Sandpiper, and then we're talking about Sandpiper releasing its capacity to its asset manager in the same year.
Yes, Your Honor. So with Chesapeake being Northeastern Utilities, the demand profile is that very low demand in the summer and increased demand in the winter, as it is directly related to the heating season. And so there are many times throughout the year and over the course of a winter where Sandpiper and Maryland will not be calling upon the full asset on a daily basis. So if only, for example, if only half of the storage right is used on any given day, the asset management agreement allows for the asset manager to take the other half that is underutilized and transact commercially in the marketplace. In order for them to do that, the FERC requires that shippers must have title. And so therefore, Maryland must transfer that asset using the FERC interstate capacity posting and bidding requirements. And then Sandpiper turns around, now that it is their asset, once Maryland transfers it to Sandpiper, it's now Sandpiper's asset. Sandpiper then turns around and contracts with an asset manager who provides value through a monthly asset management fee. And for that fee, Sandpiper will release the asset to the asset manager. And whenever Sandpiper needs gas, Sandpiper calls upon that gas that it owns the right to, and the asset manager is obligated to deliver how the utility requests. And then if there are any days of underutilized capacity, the asset manager is able to transact on those assets that are available. So it seems like the shuffle. I understand we want to iron out the shuffle here. Was that clear?
Yeah, no, I think because I do understand the selling it in the market when it's not needed. I don't understand why Chesapeake isn't doing that directly. Why is it going from Chesapeake to Sandpiper to potentially to the market? And then, because in that, obviously one of the companies gets to keep 10% of some fee. So I'm trying to understand, yes, the shuffle, as you called it, I guess.
So when Maryland released the storage asset to Sandpiper, Maryland no longer has any obligation to that asset. It now becomes wholly owned by Sandpiper. And then Sandpiper
wait, can I stop you there? So when that happens, and when you, just for the record, when you say Maryland, you mean Chesapeake, Maryland division.
Yes.
When Chesapeake transfers it to Sandpiper, is it receiving any fee?
No. It's simply, it releases that asset. It is no longer financially obligated to pay for it. It is also not able to use that asset because it is no longer the Maryland division's asset. So Sandpiper takes, we'll call it ownership, so to speak, even though it's more like a lease. But Sandpiper will take ownership of that asset and use it however it needs.
Okay, so Chesapeake Utilities Corporation, Maryland division, is not benefiting from the shuffle.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Any questions from anyone based on my questions? Redirect or otherwise?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chris. Do we have anything else in 9513?
Not from the company, Your Honor.
OPC?
Not from OPC, Your Honor.
And staff?
We have, staff has 2 witnesses to present, Your Honor.
That is true. Yes. Why don't we do that?
Thank you, Your Honor. The commission staff calls Mark Riley to the stand, please.
Mr. Riley, Oh, first, Mr. Spivak, do you have an attestation for this witness, please?
Yes, Your Honor. I can attest that Mr. Riley is in a room by himself and not in contact with anybody else at this time.
Okay, Mr. Riley, can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please proceed, Mr. Spivak.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Mr. Riley. Do you have in front of you a document captioned in this case number 9513P, titled Direct Testimony and Schedules of Mark Riley on behalf of the staff of the Public Service Commission of Maryland, dated December 14th?
Yes.
Does the document consist of 7 pages of question and answer testimony, 1 attachment, and I believe it's 4 exhibits?
Yes.
Did you prepare this document, or was it prepared under your direct supervision?
I prepared the document.
Do you have any additions, deletions, or other corrections you need to make at this time?
No.
And if the questions were asked you today as they were asked in this document, would your answers be the same?
Yes.
Do you adopt this document as part of your sworn testimony in this proceeding?
Yes.
Your Honor, staff requests that Mr. Riley's testimony be marked as staff exhibit number 1.
So marked.
Further moves that it be admitted into the evidentiary record.
Any objections?
No objection.
Since there are no objections, staff exhibit 1 will be entered into the record.
And the witness is available for cross-examination.
Mr. Riley?
Yes.
At page 6 of your testimony, I just wanted to go over your monthly impact calculation. You indicated that it would change from a credit of approximately $1.54 to a credit of approximately $1.97, which is a decrease. And again, the credit is increasing, correct?
Correct. The credit is increasing.
So the rate is decreasing. You have to approximately 44 cents, a 44-cent decrease
Per month. Yes.
per month. Did you hear Ms. Kozel's testimony earlier?
Yes, I did. I think she came up with 42 cents.
And what did you think about that?
I didn't exactly see her calculations, but it could be a rounding
Okay.
difference.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Riley.
Thank you.
Okay. The commission staff calls Olivia Kuykendall to the stand, please.
And you have an attestation for Ms. Kuykendall?
Just a moment. Yes, Ms. Kuykendall is in a room by herself and not in contact with other persons at this moment.
Thank you. Ms. Kuykendall, can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Spivak.
Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Kuykendall. Do you have in front of you a document captioned in case 9513P, titled Direct Testimony and Exhibits of Olivia Kuykendall on behalf of the staff of the Public Service Commission of Maryland, and dated December 14th?
Yes.
Does the document consist of 4 pages of question and answer testimony and 2 exhibits?
Yes.
Did you prepare this document?
Yes.
Do you have any additions, deletions, or other corrections you wish to make at this time?
I do not.
And if the questions were asked to you today as they were asked in this document, would your answers be the same?
Yes, they would.
And do you adopt this document as part of your sworn testimony in this proceeding?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Your Honor, staff requests that Ms. Kuykendall's direct testimony be marked as staff exhibit 2, and further moves that it be admitted into the evidentiary record.
Okay, any objections to staff exhibit 2?
No objection.
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, Staff Exhibit 2 will be entered into the record.
Thank you, Your Honor, and the witness is available for cross-examination.
Does any party have any questions for this witness? Okay, I also don't have questions for this witness. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. And
Does
that,
staff have anything else?
no, that concludes staff's presentation, Your Honor.
Okay. And I think that concludes our hearing today. Just the way I set this up, I did set up a separate hearing for case 9514. So I'm going to end this meeting and start that one. Okay, thank you, everyone.
We're off the record.
Thank you.